for the good of the cause. Any comments? Mrs. Flax, ladies first.
Oh, thanks. Well, I can't, I don't want to follow Kevin. I just want two quick things. Dr. Valesky mentioned Ball in the House, and I have to say, and Ms. Ryan is here from the Education Foundation, it's phenomenal. I can't tell you. I think you should all try and go next year. I hear this is something Warnsdorfer does every year or every so often, and I think that more of our schools should do it. Dr. I'm going to say her name wrong. Sagadato, okay, she's phenomenal. The Warnsdorfer chorus, they were so cute, and they were dancing and singing, and it was a terrific program, so I'm happy I got to see it. As I said, I think it should be in more of our schools. And the other quick thing, just kind of what a great district we are. We had the awards banquet for the St. Bart's Buffaloes, and Frank Knoppenberger and Chris Ganazzo were there, which I thought was really terrific to be so supportive, because, of course, these are our future athletes, but especially for Mr. Knoppenberger, because, he retired from this district. The fact that he still cares about the students, I just thought that was very impressive, so just wanted to say thank you to them and to Mr. Ganazzo. I'm sure he was doing some recruiting. Who knows, maybe my son will be on the football team in a few years. We'll see, but it was pretty nice to see.
Very nice. Mr. McAvoy.
The Department of Education announced, this is a clarification on what was something that was said earlier. The Department of Education announced the selection of 16 districts to participate in the Achievement Coaches Program and 3 districts to lead content development for this initiative. The districts were selected from among 53 applicants and will split $1.25 million in grant funds made available by the state. The Achievement Coaches Program was created to strengthen the understanding of the state's key education initiatives and enable a number of outstanding educators, including our own Ms. Gulick, to have a broader impact. Specifically, 3 districts will work with the state to create professional development sessions to support teaching methods, standards alignment, and evidence-based decision-making. Then, 16 districts will each send groups of achievement coaches to a summer session to prepare to deliver the training to peers across the state. The department will begin working with grant awardees in February, and the majority of the training will occur during the summer of 2015. Of the total grant amount, $250,000 will be used to design the professional learning sessions, and the remaining $1 million will be used for stipends for the achievement coaches, as well as other costs and materials associated with the program. A sincere thank you to Mrs. Gulick and her staff and the teachers who will be working in this project. Secondly, as chairman of our technology committee, I attended a full-day workshop last, believe it or not, Saturday, Mrs. Shaw. That's funny you brought that up earlier. Sponsored by EdTech New Jersey at Edison High School. EdTech was developed for teachers and administrators' professional development on Twitter, and this is a one-to-one real-time workshop which lent itself to hands-on and face-to-face conversations. I attended workshops that enlightened all attendees regarding student pop culture and social media, an area that I am quite comfortable with, yet learned about many new arenas that can enhance student creativity. A workshop on Chromebooks given by Edison Board of Education Math Supervisor Dennis Sheeran, who covered a vast array of information during his hour-and-a-half session. And a third workshop utilizing and managing Bring Your Own Device to the Classroom, which highlighted an endless dynamic for student-initiated lessons. And of course, the keynote was given by Rich Kiker, who is a Google-educated trainer, an e-learning architect, and 2014 National School Board Association 22 Watch Award recipient, who spoke about where we as educators are headed in the next 5 years. Overall, a very rewarding Saturday spent learning about the future today. Thank you, Dr. Cohen.
Thank you. Mr. Philipchak.
Oh, I have one more. May I?
Please, go.
I'm scrolling down.
You might as well.
There was more.
Go ahead, go.
And finally, the Mid-Jersey Chinese School will be celebrating the Chinese New Year this Saturday, February 7th, at Churchill Junior High. There'll be cultural performances beginning at 11:30 a.m., and the community is surely welcomed. Mr. Philipchak.
You ready?
Yes.
Thank you. Wednesday, February the 4th, actually yesterday, I had the pleasure of attending the Chittick Winter Concert. The Chittick Band, 4th and 5th grade strings, Chittick School Chorus all performed. I'd like to thank Mr. Decker, Mr. Lesser, Mr. Vanatelli, Ms. Donatelli, Ms. Kaufman, Ms. Chappelle, and Ms. Brain for their patience with our children. There was a moment of watching the performance that I'm sure that was very heartwarming for every parent there. I'd like to thank our school system for giving that special gift to all the parents that were there. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? I'd just like to make one additional comment before moving to our need for closed session, and that is to make a public thank you on behalf of the Board of Education to Senator Barnes and to Assemblyman Dignan and Assemblywoman Pinkin for writing such a strong endorsement of our opposition to the Hatikva proposed expansion. That was sent directly to Mr. Hespe's office, and we are expecting, our understanding is we're expecting an answer on that proposed expansion relatively soon. But it's nice to know that we can depend on our elected officials to defend and look out for the public schools that we so value here in East Brunswick. We do have a need for closed session, so I'd like to move that the Board of Education approve the following resolution. Whereas the Board of Education must discuss matters which are not appropriate for discussion in a public meeting, and whereas these subjects are within the exceptions of the Open Public Meetings Act and are permitted to be discussed in closed session pursuant to NJSA 10412B, whereas the Board of Education intends to discuss the following matters pursuant to NJSA 10412B7, any pending or anticipated litigation or contract negotiation other than a subsection B4 of NJSA 10412, it's a mouthful, in which the public body is or may become a party. Any matters falling within the attorney-client privilege to the extent that confidentiality is required in order for the attorney to exercise his ethical duties as a lawyer. The nature of the matter described as specifically as possible without undermining the need for confidentiality is legal advice concerning dedication of real property, CC and MC on behalf of BC versus the East Brunswick Board of Education, and Brahma Construction versus East Brunswick Board of Education, and Dope Tall Construction LLC. Pursuant to NJSA 10412B6, any tactics and techniques utilized in protecting the safety and property of the public, provided that their disclosure could impair such protection, any investigations of violations or possible violations of law. The nature of the matter described as specifically as possible without undermining the need for security is school security. Whereas the length of the closed session is estimated to be 30 minutes, after which the public meeting of the board shall reconvene and immediately adjourn. Now therefore be it resolved that the East Brunswick Board of Education will recess into closed session for only the aforesaid subjects. And be almost done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And be it further resolved that the East Brunswick Board of Education hereby declares that its discussion of the aforesaid subjects will be made public at a time when the public's interest in disclosure is greater than any privacy or governmental interest being protected from disclosure in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Philipchak, any discussion? All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Good evening, everybody. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I wasn't.
It's a new